Welcome to this week's edition of The Passion of the Digital Artist, coming to you live from the artist's back deck in beautiful Canton, Ohio. Here he is, Jeff Mueller.
Thank you, Xavier. Woo! We've got an audience tonight.
We do. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
How are you, Xavier?
I am just beaming, Jeff. We were in Vegas. I'd like to say I'm beaming because I won a lot of money. Obviously, if that was the case, I wouldn't be sitting here. But we had a great time in Vegas. And then over the weekend, I got together with some people that I've mentioned on this blog before, my friends Joe and Connie Williams, also known as Joe Williams and Deepwater, along with their other musicians, and we went with them to a jam session with other professional musicians, and they made me bring my guitar, which I don't know if I'd mentioned before on this blog. I've been teaching myself how to play the guitar for the last 10 months, and I actually was able to jam with some pro musicians in an informal setting. We weren't in front of an audience, just the only audience was an audience of my peers. And they made a few corrections, and this awful voice even did some singing on some of the songs, and either they were out of ammunition and out of rotten tomatoes, or they liked it, but I got invited back, so I'm really pumped.
Excellent, but you do not have an awful voice. You get compliments on your voice all the time. But getting to this week's, it's great to be back after a 2-week
hiatus there.
Yep, because of your vacation and everything. It just worked out a little bit. It was nice for me. I got a little bit, I got a little R&R, and a lot's happened. This week, I'm in the middle of 2 shows. There was a Friday night opening in Cleveland, Tall Wall show. And then, Big Lights, Big City was introduced there.
How was that received?
I got a lot of compliments on it.
As you should.
As I'm learning, the piece that I put into that particular show, it's an edgy show, and I've got a really nice professional cityscape of New York. So it didn't quite, you could do anything you wanted. But with that said, and the short amount of time I had to prepare the piece, I'm already preparing for next year, and I know the kind of piece that I want to put in. And then also last night we were out, you and your lovely wife, and my lovely wife. And you and your lovely wife, and
lovely you and lovely me.
Exactly, that's a love fest.
Yeah, there you go.
2nd April, 1 square mile show, based off of doing a piece of artwork within a square mile. I introduced Summer Anticipation,
which was 2 of your children of work.
Right. It's the Gervasi Vineyard within a mile of our house, and I had always wanted to do that painting, and it's finished. It's hanging on the walls. Tweeted it, Facebooked it. It's on my website if you want to take a look at it. It turned out quite spectacular. I was really happy with the painted original piece. That brings me to now what's happening. I've been getting a lot of questions or statements on Twitter because I've been hitting it hard and heavy, and it's accusing of me of being selfish, and that's one thing that I want to cover. I'm sending people to this video blog by promoting it through Twitter and Facebook, and they'll take it as I'm being selfish because they think that the video blog is about me. Yes, I'm the main subject matter, but the reason why I'm doing this, the reason why we take a certain amount of time a week to prepare for this type of this type of a format and come up with what I'm trying to tell everybody is based off of wanting to share what I'm doing. And one of the things as an artist that I know, I've always known, and I've come across so many artists, they're not willing to share. It's secretive what they do. They don't really want to tell everybody what they do. And I really think that business and the art community and where things are going has to start to group together, and they have to start to share, because each individual artist isn't technically competing against each other. They are expressing themselves, and the stronger they are together will allow them to become stronger as far as selling and promoting their artwork, and it's been always that way. I mean, some of the greatest artists and their movements always are based off of 4 or 5 great artists getting together in an area, producing art, selling it in that area, and that usually leads to a really nice movement. Jackson Pollock, Lee Krasner, William de Kooning, they were abstract artists forming the abstract movement in the Hamptons, and they got together and were creating art together along with a couple other artists, and that transferred into the New York art scene, and the people that were purchasing artwork were vacationing in the Hamptons. So that the world today isn't that different. As artists, we have to group together because we have strength in the numbers, and that's why I'm video blogging on a regular basis, so that I could get the message across that as artists, we need to just get together, share what we have, because the better we are, the better off we have a chance of having a movement that's similar. And my movement is a cross between digital and conventional artwork. I really think it's something special. Anybody who's ever been doing anything, one of the things that you're going to be, and one of the things that Pollock struggled with was the fact that he was doing spatter painting. He was a great painter, but he was getting recognized for spatter art, and it basically rocked him to his core, because of the fact that he was looking at what is art, what's the definition, but that's what made him what he is and what he did, and he was the first to do it, and he made abstract art and started that movement with de Kooning and the other artists. And you just got to look at that. Today isn't any different, and that's why I do this. I'm passionate towards art. I want to share what I'm doing. I want any artist to take any tool and get out there and express themselves.
Well, I want to add a couple of things. First off, and maybe I don't have exactly an unbiased opinion, but personally, professionally, and otherwise, you're probably the most unselfish person I've ever met in my life. Number one. Number two, it goes again with the same kind of synergy of the social media series. This is it. You're making a point about our digital life and how it's permeated our culture, and we're now using that to promote this blog. And folks, you'll see when you watch this blog a few moments ago, we had a timeout because we had to do a little fact check on something we were doing. And how we checked that fact was we didn't even get up out of our seats here. I hand Jeff my iPhone. He Googles it, and we have our information, we move on. So, the digital life is our life. It is now our culture as much as the brush and canvas are. And third, using this technology, folks, you may notice that we seem to be fading black and white here. We're kind of right on the borderline of having enough light. And Jeff kind of looks good on some shots, and then he looks like he's on the Bio channel, an interview with somebody like a mob informant or witness protection program, Jeffy the Weasel Mueller or something. Go ahead, Jeff.
So that just brings me to the last thing. This week I'm headed to New York. Super excited. It's the story of the See Me Story of the Creative show. There's 100 artists from 100 different countries, and they picked out of 700,000 artists. They picked out of 250. I was one of the artists that was chosen to be in the show. So I'm grabbing my daughter, and we're headed up. We're gonna hit the show. The event looks amazing. I'll have a ton of video, but here again, it's something that, although it's not directly related with selling, the show's going to be projected. It's going to be in the See Me Gallery in Long Island City, and it's going to be on monitors. But what it does is get you exposure, and I'm going to New York City. I'm going to be there for 3 days. I'm going to meet other artists, and I'm going to do my best to meet anybody and anyone that I can that's in the art field. Buyers, gallery owners. It's what you need to do as an artist, and this is why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to document it, so that all that happens that's been happening to me, if I can do it, other artists, it's put down on this little video blog on what you got to do to be successful. It's not a secret. And as we keep going down the road, I become more and more known, and then the visibility should lead to
popularity
or financial endorsements
or enrichment.
Right. And already I'm starting to get I'm getting commissions. I'm getting little side jobs. It's not directly what I want to do, but because I'm doing this, it leads to that. And that's another thing artists have to do. You've got to all along never lose focus on what your goal is, but at the same time use your creativity to allow you to get to your goal.
It's a synergy of helping other people and, you know, the learning path you're going down yourself, and maybe figuring out how to monetize it. You're unselfish, but you're also not the Red Cross Art Service either.
Exactly. So I have some video footage from the shows. You'll see that in this one, and then I'm going to have a lot of stuff from New York. I'll be back on Saturday, so hopefully Sunday, if I'm not too wasted from the weekend of driving and you know, going out and in New York City, that we'll be back next week, guys.
Later, folks. Take care.
All right.
Jeff, good luck.